Can I tell you a story this morning? On this Tuesday morning of morning devotions, Tuesday, July the 7th, there was a man by the name of Paul. And I'll stop you before you think it. No, it's not the Apostle Paul. But Paul, as a boy, loved butterflies. And he wasn't one of those people who would take a net and chase after them to try to catch them and collect them. No, he would watch them. He loved to chase them around the yard and watch them, to draw pictures of them and color them. He loved butterflies. And his love of butterflies even continued into his adult life. And as a man who had a son of his own on the way, one day as he was heading for his house, a branch had fallen out of his tree, and he stopped to pick it up, getting ready to just throw it in the trash. And he noticed a cocoon on one of the smaller branches. It immediately caught his attention because he assumed that it would have maybe been damaged in the fall. But as he looked at it, he realized that the cocoon seemed to be perfectly okay. So he carefully broke that particular branch off of the rest and took it inside. He found a wide-mouthed mason jar, poked a hole or several holes in the lid, put the stick down into the jar, sealed it up, and set it up on the mantle, away from a curious cat. We know a little bit about those, don't we? Every day Paul would look at the cocoon. Nothing seemed to be happening. One day, as he was walking by it, he glanced over at it and he noticed that it seemed to be moving a little. So he quickly got his wife, and she came over and she looked, confirmed that, yeah, it looks like it's maybe moving a little. And her interest, that was it, so she walked on. He took the lid off and he was looking at it, and he could see the cocoon kind of moving and shuddering. And he realized that it was time for the butterfly to come out. Now, he had no idea what kind of butterfly it was, but he was anxious to see. The struggling continued, and Paul began to get worried that the little butterfly wasn't going to make it out. So he took his pocket knife, which was very sharp, and he very, very carefully cut a little slit in the cocoon. Well, once he did that, it wasn't but just a couple of more minutes, and that little slit began to split open. And another few minutes, and the butterfly came out, stood on the branch as its wings began to dry. But a strange thing happened. The butterfly did not take off. It walked along the stick. It walked along the edge of the mason jar. It even got off and walked along the mantle. It just wasn't going to fly. And Paul was mystified. He didn't know why in the world this butterfly wasn't flying. So he carefully put it back in the jar and sealed the lid. And he called his neighbor, who was a high school science teacher. He told his neighbor about the whole story, how he had found the cocoon and how today the butterfly was trying to get out. He had been concerned that it wasn't going to make it, so he made that tiny slit in the side. And as soon as he said it, the teacher spoke up and said, "Well, that's your problem." He said the butterfly has to struggle to get out of the cocoon, because in the struggle, its wings are strengthened enough so that it can fly. And without the struggle, the wings are not strong enough for the bird to fly or for the butterfly to fly. His attempt at help ruined the butterfly's life. Now, I say all of that to say this to us this morning. We look at struggles and we think there's no good reason for this. There's nothing good that's going to come out of this. But that isn't true. Through our struggles, God is making us stronger. When we lean upon Him and when we trust and rely upon Him and struggle, our spiritual life grows, our ability to have faith grows. We become a healthier Christian as we have some struggles in our life. Now, none of us want to have to struggle every day of our lives, but let's remember that struggles are good for us, and God always knows what's best. On this Tuesday, I hope you have a great day. May God bless you, and we'll talk to you tomorrow morning.